Joanna Small, Public Affairs and Communications Manager for the Lynnwood Police Department. It's Friday, April 22nd, and this is your LPD Video Week in Review. Here's a summary of some of the most notable incidents your Lynnwood police officers responded to over this past week or so. On April 9th, officers were called to a parking garage at Alderwood Mall for reports that a vehicle had smashed into a concrete wall on the roof. When we arrived, we learned a 16-year-old boy without a driver's license was in a car for which the owner did not have insurance and was, quote, driving really fast in an area that was not accessible to the public. He told officers no one else was in his vehicle at the time of the crash, but mall surveillance footage shows someone else exiting the crashed car. He was fortunately not seriously injured, but the car was totaled. He will be cited for reckless driving without a license, and driving without required liability insurance. On April 11th, officers on routine patrol found a stolen Ford Econoline parked at the Walmart on Highway 99. Search and impound on the vehicle had been authorized by the registered owner, and when officers got inside, they discovered several license plates that did not belong to the stolen vehicle. The vehicle was towed and will be returned to its rightful owner. Also on April 11th, officers were called to Safeway on Highway 99 for reports that a man stole a shopping cart full of items from the store. When officers located him pushing the shopping cart down the sidewalk, he claimed someone else stole the merchandise. He simply found the cart. When officers removed his jacket from the cart, a large fixed-blade knife fell out. He told officers he had found the knife as well. The man was cited for the theft as well as for possession of a dangerous weapon. On April 13th, officers contacted a truck reported stolen in the Home Depot parking lot. They found a female passenger inside with multiple warrants, including a felony warrant for possession of a stolen vehicle. She gave her boyfriend's name as the driver and said he was inside the store. K-9 Cannon was called to the scene to conduct a narcotics sniff on the vehicle, and he alerted to the presence of drugs. When the driver exited the store, he too was arrested for multiple warrants. After a search warrant was secured, a search of the vehicle recovered a backpack containing methamphetamine. The vehicle was released to its rightful owner. On April 14th, officers were called to Nordstrom Rack for reports that a shoplifting suspect had punched a loss prevention employee in the face, turning the crime from a theft to a robbery. The employee told responding officers the physical altercation had occurred when he attempted to take the merchandise back from the suspect as the suspect fled the store. The entire incident was captured on store surveillance footage. The suspect was able to retain about $800 worth of the stolen items. If you believe you have information that may lead to the identification of this suspect, call the number that's on your screen. On April 15th, Officer Magnuson and his K-9 partner Cannon were called to assist the Edmonds Police Department with the track on at least 2 residential burglary suspects who had fled the scene. Cannon was able to locate the first suspect attempting to hide in the woods behind the house, and he was taken into custody without incident. He continued to track to a vehicle that was parked at the end of a dead-end street, and while it may have been involved in the crime, it was empty when Cannon located it. Well done, and good boy. On April 15th, officers were again called to Nordstrom Rack for reports that an employee had been systematically giving away in total more than $8,000 in free merchandise to friends, family, and random people he deemed in need. When officers arrived, they interviewed the employee, who admitted that he would ring up items and then delete them as if they were not purchased, but still allow the customers to take them. Officers wrote up a super form recommending the employee be charged with felony theft in the first degree. During the early morning hours of April 17th, officers were called to Beaver Creek Apartments for multiple reports of shots fired. When they arrived, they located casings in various places around the parking lot, totaling about half a dozen, as well as a hole in the wall caused by a bullet. Witnesses told us they heard people arguing and also heard the gunshots. Some also saw a male pull out a gun, but those witnesses immediately ran from the area, so they only heard the shots and never saw the suspect actually fire them. Casings and witness statements were collected as evidence. No injured parties were located. And finally, you'll see a pause in the LPD Video Week in Review, as well as a lot of the content you may have come to expect from the Lynnwood Police Department on our various social media platforms. I've loved my time here in Lynnwood and being the department's first ever Public Affairs and Communications Manager. It has been an incredible 2.5 years, and it's a bittersweet goodbye as my husband, young daughter, and I relocate to Colorado to be closer to our family. Thank you so much for your support, and please remember, the men and women of the Lynnwood Police Department serve and protect you every day because they have servant hearts. They love this community just like you do and want nothing but to ensure you can live, work, and raise a family here knowing you'll be safe. That's all for now. See you later, Lynnwood.